I love your work so much. And one of the things I like about it the most is your use of materials. You have had such an interesting journey from painting to sculpture. Can you tell me a bit like how you started art? What was your kind of first introduction to it? And then how did you end up doing the stuff that you're doing now?
Yeah, so I was studying history of art before. I was studying in Venice. And I remember perfectly the moment in which I was like, I need to do art and not only study it, because I was doing my thesis at the time on The Shape of Time, a book from Kubler. And I was so fascinated by this kind of, it was describing all these objects interacting through time.
Oh, gorgeous.
So I was at the time collecting, I remember like a lot of pots, a lot of like flower pots, a lot of different objects in my house in
like
Venice.
Vessels.
Yeah, like vessel. And basically I started painting them.
Oh, lovely.
And through the relationship with this book, I kind of start feeling this relationship as like these vessels were really like living entity, like breathing entities. And then I moved to London to study art, like to try. And for the first material I encountered in my practice was literally like collecting old vessel, broken vessel in the street, old plate and old carpets. So all these kind of old materials, they were just left from people in the street. I was collecting them and I was bringing them in my studio. My studio at the time was at university. I was doing Chelsea College. And I don't know, I was just starting to observing these objects, how they were interacting together. So this was the starting point, I think.
That's gorgeous. And how did you then kind of come to painting as well? Because I know now you're working with animal skins and that's super exciting. But originally you were doing these beautiful kind of, again, these entities, but painting acrylics.
So one day during my long walks in London, I collected a carpet. And I remember like I started like opening the fiber of these carpets and using it as a kind of a canvas surface. So the first approach I had with painting was actually using this canvas, but it was a carpet as a surface. So there was this material very present. And then the second act was really starting to disassemble the single threads and opening the single thread and inserting my new threads. So like I was inserting cotton thread, silk, wool. So I was creating this huge tapestry with wool, but using like an old carpet as a base. And yeah, I mean, I was collecting all type of carpets and like was really like, my studio was,
just
like,
full
just
of carpets,
like
a haberdashery in like Persia.
I was sharing the studio with some artists at the time and they were like all complaining. They were literally like, stop collecting rubbish from, like, stop. But because of course they have so much mold also, like, you know, it's like,
yeah, that's true. There's a reason they get thrown out, of course.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But you asked me about the skin and I think there is a very strong relationship between the carpets and the skin, because of course like I see these rugs as a skin. They represent the skin. And of course in one of my biggest part of my practice is the act of collecting and selecting and disassembling objects. So of course I started to collecting also skins of animals that I was finding in nature first of all, and then also in markets. But there was a moment, like for 2 good years, I was like literally traveling everywhere with big luggages full of dead skins,
oh my God, amazing.
Decomposing skins, and like, no, for real, it was really...
Did you ever get in trouble with customs going through with stuff like that?
I transported everything. Everything you cannot transport. Like literally one day I traveled from Ecuador with 2 luggage full of 2 dead goats with all the bones, all the flesh, so in decomposition basically, because I had a show and I wanted to show this. So imagine.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Another time I was in Poland, I remember, but I wanted to travel with, I found this amazing like sheep skin and I didn't know how to do it, to transport, there were too many. So I stitched on my coat and I went in the plane with this kind of coat and everyone was like, it's like so smelly, like, literally. No. And I was like wearing this.
Oh, I can smell it. I grew up around like sheep and goats, and like I can smell it in my mind's eye right now. That's incredible.